Let's start on a happy note. Play. Sponsored. Who wants to tell us what happened last time?
You're so good at it.
So,
Bees.
Bees?
Honey.
Honeycomb.
Yeah.
No, giant.
Honey sponge cake.
Yeah, I have honey. And that makes them some honey cakes.
But essentially, most of the session was us just journeying through this savannah.
You jumped off a cliff.
We did jump off a cliff. We jumped off a cliff.
While taking a long rest, or short rest, but while resting, there were some interesting dreams that both Apoc and Elle had, which I believe they didn't necessarily share with the group, but they shared with one another.
Yeah.
We found honey, and then we had some kind of like caffeine high adventures.
That was
between
awesome.
the two of you. And then while on our journey, we came close to, let's say, a mystery area that we didn't investigate because Mrs. Q wanted us to go around it.
I was laughing at Eric trying to open the cookies. Yes, please. Thank you.
All we know, or what we can deduce, is it seems like it's some old rundown village or town. But we weren't able to investigate. We did or we were about to take a long rest. You took first watch with Cam and kind of like excused yourself for about an hour or so to plant a little flower and kind of just like have a little feeling emotion time. And that's it.
Yep.
It was an episode of Feels. Ish.
Oh, so many
And Scary Dreams and the first Nat 1 where coffee did not come out of the service.
Coffee.
That's very important.
It was for the kid.
Yeah. But Elle redeemed herself with a 2 later and was able to still get some coffee.
Constantly breaking people's things.
You fixed it, it's fine. But yeah, some not so restful nights for some of you. Some visits from old friends for others in your dreams. Left with kind of a riddle, thinking about what it means that a door has been opened and a crack has been opened as well. I'll get better as the nights go on. As Mrs. Q comes back to your little cluster about 45 minutes away from the mounds themselves, Camembert, you were up on watch as well, kind of counting down the time. Mrs. Q saying she'll come back in about an hour. We'll pick up right there if there's anything else that you wanted to do on your way back, Mrs. Q, or Cam while you're waiting for Mrs. Q to arrive. Kind of nearing this was the last watch, so sort of nearing the dawn, start of your day, kind of that time of the night. Anything either of you wanted to do?
I'm waiting until you get back. So.
I come right back. I don't wander off. Do just come back. Yep.
I'm sharpening my knife. Did you get what you needed to get done?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I'm like very meticulous cleaning my knives. Gotta do it when no one else is watching. So.
It's true. Is like
them.
Mrs. Q sits down next to Cam, and so what time of, you said this is the last watch, so the sun is rising?
This is the last watch. I would say you would have taken off right at the very start of your 2-hour watch, so you're probably, in the last hour. The sun is starting to crest over the mountains. You can see it. It's kind of giving you can just kind of through the morning haze sort of make out the mountains where you just came from. So there is now light here.
Mrs. Q just sits down next to Cam and pulls out her crochet. You can sharpen your knife and I will do my crochet.
Want me to sharpen your crochets?
It's a cool weapon idea. Mrs. Q
Write that down.
ruffles around in her pouch, in her apron, and pulls out one that she doesn't use quite as regularly and hands it to Cam to make into a secret weapon.
I'll sharpen it up and whittle it out if I can.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hand it back.
Is it very sharp?
I don't know, is it very sharp?
Just for fun, go ahead and roll dexterity. Let's see if you get a crit fail or not.
23.
Yeah.
Roll for sharp.
Roll for sharp.
That's good.
So, like with the crochet hook, you have like the hook on the one end and the handle on the other. If you were to just hold your crochet hook, it would look very normal. But the end that you hold in your palm is extremely like dagger sharp. But it looks normal if you hold it to crochet with.
Okay, excellent. I like that.
Okay. You can actually add that to your inventory as like a dagger. Modified dagger.
Oh my gosh, yes!
I'll give it to you for sure.
Thank you.
But yeah. Oh.
Learn that trick from Apoc. He's a crafty one.
No.
It's just a big bubble coming out of his
It's so gross.
Just comically large. And then almost about to pop and it goes back in.
With the frog hat still on. Don't
Oh, I love it. Great. Mrs. Q is just like crocheting just for flavor's sake. Mrs. Q, seeing that her crochet hook is now a special weapon, she's going to crochet a little cover to put over the pointy end of the crochet hook. So she doesn't poke herself with it when it's in her pocket.
Excellent. That's amazing. Yeah, no problem.
I'm not quite sure how to add it, but I'll.
Yeah, we can always add it
Yeah,
at the
we'll
break.
add.
You can add a dagger and then change
Oh, would
the
I
name.
just? Oh, okay,
Other
okay, okay.
possession.
No, I'll add it as a because I want to be able to use it. I'll forget about it if I just put it in my inventory.
Yeah, if you add dagger and then change the name to crochet, or like customize.
Yeah.
Cam's crochet hook.
Well, it's hers.
Dagger. There's so many types of dagger.
As you are adding that to your inventory and the sun is starting to rise fully, you can start to see the rest of your party, Apoc, Sir Basil, Elle, as well as Brenna, Ceridian, and Ajax, who are still with you, begin to stir, stretch out, rise, kind of shake the sleep out of their eyes as they begin to don their armor back on and get ready for the day. Apoc drinks a full swig of coffee the moment he wakes up in the morning.
Love that.
That is the item that has been used most in this campaign so far.
Hey, you think you could sharpen something for me? As I just hold out these manacles.
No, they're metal. It's gonna take me a long time to do that. We gotta get going, bud. And they're like,
Yeah, actually, your friend is right. We need to get going.
yeah, let's go.
Are you two done? Brenna's kind of gonna stretch, sort of adjust the bandana on her head, finish like buckling up the belt of her sword, and is going to start packing up her pack. This is our last day. We have good weather and we're lucky. We should be able to make it to Brackenmill by, early evening. At least see if the council has showed up and get this over with, I guess.
Mrs. Quillam, is the weather gonna hold up for us today?
Yes, you all get a long rest.
Nice
Sorry,
touch.
should have said that.
Mrs. Q grabs her necklace and whispers a few words while closing her eyes, and an orb appears in front of her.
All right. I need someone to roll a d20 because it's going to affect the weather. For the very, very last day.
That one!
That one.
Oh no.
You're not allowed to roll anymore.
Yeah. It's a good thing, it's just weather.
It's true.
Okay.
It rains snakes.
Yeah, so as you pull out your orb, Mrs. Q, in a little puff of pink magic, you can see that it's very like a warm golden hue kind of swirling around the inside, sort of coalescing right into the middle of the orb, indicating to you that you're probably going to have a fairly good day today.
Yay! Good.
That fears me more. That scares me more.
It's going to be a beautiful sunny day. Nope, nothing to worry about at all.
When someone says that and they're a DM, it means that there's something to worry about.
Look at the picture. This picture.
Oh, that picture.
And the secrets of the universe.
Oh boy.
It looks so good.
I know. Alrighty, as you all have your breakfast, stop me if there's anything you would like to do today. But as you all have your breakfast, pack up your packs, and begin to set off on your final day towards Brackenmill. You are at the southernmost tip of the mountain, so we are out of your favored terrain now.
Flapjacks and dried fruit is for breakfast.
There we go. I was waiting for it. So flapjacks and dried fruit.
Made in my pan of perfection. So
What kind of fruit?
I was thinking like currants, dried blueberries, cranberries, raisins, add a little bit of honey.
Yeah, honey.
They've got honey now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
We're in, like, I can't really. I don't think I have a lot of foraging skills, so I'm just using
I
what's
mean,
in my
you could
bag.
ask. We could go forage. What are you looking for?
Fruit to
Fruit?
go on the flapjacks.
While we're kind of starting ready to head out, I'm just gonna like close to the group, far enough away, just to like try and forage for something.
Okay. Make a survival check.
Let's see if I can bring that.
Elle will
thing
help
in.
you with that. She'll be jumping around.
Okay.
She knows a little bit about foraging.
Yep.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, that's fair.
Are you rolling as well?
So you can roll as well,
Sure.
or yeah, go ahead and roll, Steph. Survival.
To the druid and the ranger to go
Yeah.
forward.
16.
16, and you rolled
10.
10.
Yeah.
You are kind of like, with the very limited shrubs and hardier bushes that you find growing out of the rocks in this mountain, you are able to find one with these like beautiful looking almost blackberry kind of berries. And as you go to just like, they look so ripe and juicy and just delicious, like you need to eat them. As you go to touch one, you see Elle come and swat your hand away as she kind of gives you a look. Elle, you know these to be pretty poisonous. But with your...
Unless you want your insides on your outside, don't eat this.
But don't our insides need to become outsides at some point?
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, but not the way that you're thinking.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
As you're like waddling away having this conversation, Elle, you do actually see like, in nature how some things can mimic other things as a defense mechanism. You see these blackberries that have more of a reddish tinge to them, the edible version of this particular type of berry, and you are able to scavenge, a couple handfuls from this, but that's about it in this mountainous terrain. But not the poisonous ones, so that's good. So eating your breakfast of flapjacks and some scavenged berries, getting yourselves ready to go and starting to head off. You, as before, Brenna is taking the lead with Ajax not too far behind. Sorry about that, guys. We need new light bulbs. With Ajax not too far behind, kind of keeping a little bit closer to each other, you can see Ajax is standing a little straighter, but has still been relatively quiet since your toe-to-toe fight with whatever curse was inside him a day and a half ago. But as you set out, the sun is indeed beautiful. It's a cloudless day today. because you are still kind of in the range, the biome of the mountains. It's not scorching hot. It is comfortable enough weather to walk in. And as you walk, after about a couple hours of trudging, you're now in flat plain, the mountains far behind you. You see that you are kind of coming up to what looks like a small stand of trees, relatively close in the distance. They appear just like a little, almost, oasis is not quite the right word, but just a little bit of different terrain in an otherwise grassland kind of area. It's not the same tree that you saw before, the kind of low-lying, sprawling oak-type tree. This seems a little bit taller, a little bit thinner, this strand of trees. But it is kind of directly in your path as you're heading south towards Brackenmill. What would you like to do?
Does Mrs. Q recognize the type of tree? It's like something significant to the area.
You're if you want to walk up to them, you're not quite face to face with them yet. It's kind of like, you saw them from a distance and are approaching them, and they're kind of right in your path.
Oh, okay.
So if you continue walking, you'll hit right up to them, but you can go ahead and roll I'll say either history or nature for this, since it's kind of your relative area.
I don't know.
That sounded wild.
I'm just gonna.
It didn't quite make it to the
Yeah.
tray.
I didn't know.
Oversized trait.
Okay, that is a dirty 20 for history.
For history, you don't really remember there being particularly a lot of groves of trees in your youth around here as a young hedge. It's grass, it's a grassland. You can tell that these trees are relatively skinny. Maybe they're new? Hard to tell.
Okay.
You don't remember anything, but...
Mrs. Q's just going to keep walking forward unless someone tells her to stop, so... She likes trees.
Does it look like a Christmas tree?
As you... no, it's more like a poplar or an aspen, very straight, very skinny, very tall. And it does offer some... If you start to approach it, you can see that it does offer some shade, almost like in... It's like this cute little grove of trees in the middle of the savannah that offers some shade from the sun itself beating down on you. As you do approach, these are... You recognize them. You would all recognize them because you've all lived in a forest at some point. You would recognize these as aspen trees. And as you approach, you know that there are a lot of myths about aspen trees. Because on the bark of aspens, they have particular markings that look like very big eyes. And you can Google this because this is a real thing. It looks like aspen
trees are like my favorite tree.
Yeah. I'm
Was
pretty
that
sure.
Elle or Steph?
More Elle. I would say Steph's favorite is like a cedar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it looks like the colorations and the striations of an aspen, it looks like eyes going all the way up and down, sort of spiraling around their trunk. They look really creepy.
Oh my goodness.
That's really cool.
Yeah, super cool, right?
Eyes.
So as you approach, you can tell that these are aspens, and there is a bit of a reprieve in the shade of these trees. But as you approach, I'd like everyone to make a perception check for me, please.
Wait, is that why they call it the Aspens? Do they have these trees
In the what?
Isn't there? Oh, I'm thinking the owls.
Oh,
Aspen is a place, but I think it's spelled differently.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying to think. So perception?
No whammies,
Perception.
no whammies. Whammy.
11.
We're just gonna pass by that one.
19.
19,
13.
13, Steph,
11.
11,
Hey,
and
team
Eric
11.
is a
It's a 2.
So, okay.
Close.
Aspen is it a resort?
From
I have heard of this.
Dumb and Dumber.
That's
Is
it.
that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought I heard it from
Sorry.
somewhere.
Yeah.
That is seriously dumb.
Aspen, Colorado. Okay. Apoc's having this weird fever dream right now.
Maybe you should roll disadvantage then.
Colorado.
Where have I heard this before? You know, like, being obsessed with the mountains, you know that there's like a ski lodge on the east side of the mountains called Aspen. You had one friend who grew his fur out really long and used to braid it in pigtails and always said about how there was like slopes to ski down. You are the only one that rolled high enough somehow. And actually this kind of fades. As you're having this kind of fever dream and just sort of looking around, you swear out of the corner of your eye you see one of these eyes shift.
Whoa.
Oh dear.
Alright. I don't know if I like this area, guys. I feel like I'm being watched.
Sir Basil would just jokingly say, "Oh, come on, Apoc, you can't be scared of a good old tree," and he just slaps the tree. Like,
Okay.
like, "Oh, come on, it's a good old tree."
It's not that one. I poke at the one that the eye moved.
You
I
point to the
at
one that the
where
eye moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is gonna be another thing where the last thing goes in like. Right, yeah, Sir Basil just goes. He just goes and touches the tree.
As he leaves the first one that he poked, or that he tapped, you see one of the eyes shift to his direction and watch him walk away.
Okay, I'm going to have some.
Sir Basil touches the tree. See? Nothing's happening.
I got fleece
This
in
is
my
a
eye. I
tree.
can't see shit.
But
Why did I rub my
Mrs.
face
Q and
with a
Elle
blanket?
noticed at least Apoc's reaction, if not the eyes.
Yes, with an 11, you definitely didn't see the eyes, but like Apoc is reacting to something. You
I know
tapped
I do.
Cam, but you didn't.
Yeah, just tap Cam. Yeah.
Sir Basil's gonna stick.
Apoc is staring at something. Sorry, Apoc is staring at something. Steph.
Sir Basil's gonna stick his sword in the ground,
Okay.
like stand on it like a ladder,
Mhm.
and poke the eye. See, it's nothing.
Okay.
It's a tree.
Whereabouts do you stick your sword?
Like in whatever eye you come in.
No, the
No, your
sword
sword
is
in the ground.
Oh, in the ground. Yeah.
Do you hit a root? Do you hit the ground? Are you taking care?
Fuck.
I mean, that face suggests.
I just walked to the tree, stuck it in the ground.
Trees
So
have roots?
I assume I wouldn't aim for the root. I'd stick for like the soil or earth and just
Okay. All right. So you stick it in the soil, and you go and you poke right in the
climb
eye.
onto my sword. So I'm standing on it as if it's like a little ladder and see.
So
What is going on?
I can flip it up to just flip it up to full.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that might help. It was hurting me when I was working
Oh,
because it was
gotcha.
really bright, so I turned it down. But
Yeah.
I don't know if they're dimmable bulbs, which messes it up. Anyways,
Mm.
so you go and you stand and you poke the eye. Nothing happens to the eye you poke. You, and if you're pointing it out to anyone else.
If anybody has eyes, they're seeing Apoc point.
Okay, so everyone except for Basil will now see one of the eyes. Like if Basil's pointing this one of the eyes on the lower trunk kind of shifts to stare up at him.
Nothing's happening, guys. Come on. Apoc, you're being silly.
Yeah, I think we need to be a little more careful. This place feels a little.
Can I hunters
old.
mark the tree?
You can hunter's mark the tree. Elle says this place seems a little old.
Do you see any creatures?
You can go ahead and make a perception check.
I light a match.
That's about
You light a match?
What the fuck, guys?
Sir Basil's just like, whoa, what's happening right now? He jumps off the sword.
trees.
15 persuasion. Perception.
15 perception. You do not see any other creatures, and to that point, you don't hear anything.
No bugs.
These are coniferous trees. They're gonna do this.
You actually know.
No, these aspens are deciduous.
Oops.
Aspen oil is a deterrent for ticks and mosquitoes.
Oh.
Okay, so you don't see any ticks and mosquitoes, but you do, like, you can see some ladybugs, you can see they're crawling on the trunks,
Excellent.
but you don't hear birds, you don't hear mice. You know, you're getting used to what the grassland has to offer with things that scurry.
Okay.
This is different.
I walk up to the nearest ladybug
Uh-huh.
and I ask it a question.
I was like, it's not a ladybug,
yes.
it's a Japanese
We haven't done
ladybug.
this in a long time.
Asian ladybug.
Okay, so we have two things to resolve. Okay, so you asked it a question. I'm ready.
I try and, with my arms, ask it if this is a safe place. Are we safe?
Yeah.
She said, yeah.
Yeah.
Are the trees bad?
Not everything can be the
They're
same.
home.
You don't know how to speak ladybug?
Well, that's true.
This is supposed to be their antennas.
Oh, okay.
Home.
Right out. Turn to the group and say, this isn't going very well.
As you turn to the group with a lit match,
Well, it's now a torch because they didn't have a match.
God, guys.
but it's a match, right?
They had with the torch.
It's the torch.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you say, Steph? Sorry, hold on. What did you say, Steph?
I said, oh my God, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a lit torch.
Apoc lights an arrow.
Guys, stop it! Mrs. Q says.
You see two branches come down from the tops of these trees right in between these two chuckleheads and smack them both to the side. You both take...
Oh!
Where does the torch land?
You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Good question, Steph.
Oh, no.
What happens to the torch? Does Cam drop it?
Make a con save, Cam. See if you can hold on to this torch.
No. It's down.
If Ken drops it, Elle is gonna react to that.
Okay, the torch clatters. You guys get kind of flung off to the side. The torch clatters to the ground. Elle does.
Cast gust to blow it out, just so it doesn't fall in any of the brush to start a fire or anything.
Okay, yeah, easy enough to do with your control of the wind. I'll say you're able to sort of smother it with the gust almost and prevent it from catching anything else aflame. You see these branches that hit the two of you just kind of chill back up. But as you look around, like all of the eyes from the trees around you are facing you now.
Me?
Both of you. You're kind of like side by side. You're almost kind of in this orientation here where you're sort of facing each other.
So Basil kind of just whips his sword up from the ground and it's just like standing like kind of like back to back with them, just like looking up at the trees everywhere.
Mrs. Q, kind of like Aragorn style to Gimli when he's walking through Fangorn Forest. He's like, lower your axe, except lower your sword.
Okay.
The trees!
So we don't shoot.
No. Kind of deserved that.
What?
We're in a forest of living trees, and the first thing you do at any sight of anything untoward is you plan to attack it.
So Basil's gonna, like, thinking back to the last time we got attacked by plants, like those vines, is just gonna say, what's he gonna say? I don't know, Mrs. Q. The last time we ran up against something like this, it did not end up well.
Also, I know living trees. That's more than a tree.
Well, then let's talk to them. Maybe ask them what's going on.
I don't like how they're looking at us.
They don't have mouths, so they only have eyes.
I just need to be able to see them better. I have a hard time seeing in the dark.
What? What? Are you blind? Again?
It's a 26 to deception.
I don't even know. He's lying to me too. Camembert is lying to the DM.
Before anyone does anything else rash, Elle wants to do something.
Alright, go for it. As you're kind of discussing this, just to set the scene a bit more, you can hear the leaves rustling above you, but like to picture this, you're kind of in the middle of all of these guys, or like closer to the outside, but you can see, the savannah kind of through these trees. Like it's not big. This is not a big cluster. But you can hear the, it's called Scytherism, word of the day. It's the sound that leaves make when wind goes through it. But you yourselves do not feel a wind. Elle, you wanted to do something?
Elle is gonna walk up to whatever tree she saw the eye on.
All of them. Like, all of them have moved
Okay.
at this point. Pick anyone.
She's gonna pick one that to her looks like the most authoritative. whatever tree looks like the most authority.
Great.
She's gonna walk up and she's gonna cast Speak with Plants.
Ooh.
Oh. Awesome. Great.
So actually,
What the hell?
now that I say this, it's gonna work with any trees within the 30-foot radius.
Oh.
So we might get shouted at, guys, but
Great. Okay, yeah, you, I would definitely say the ones that hit Cam and Apoc seems to be the most aggressive, maybe the most authoritative, so you walk up to that one in particular. And now that you know to look for the moving eyes, you can actually see as this one sort of follows to kind of focus on you. And you cast Speak with Plants. What do you say?
hello, trees.
Yeah! I want that on a t-shirt. What does a tree sound like?
So
Imagine Treebeard.
Oh,
Speak
that's
slowly.
Yeah, do that voice.
to add to this, my favorite enemy is a plant. I also learned the language that is spoke by them, if they speak one at all. So I don't know if this falls under that
I
category.
really hope
Oh, snap.
so many curveballs. Sorry, Andrew.
I'm gonna say well, I'm still gonna answer you, Elle. Just roll. They're technically speaking. Okay, roll an intelligence check.
This is wild. I didn't think this was going to come to play. Nope.
Okay. You, as Elle is doing this, so as Elle is doing this, you kind of, like, when you hear a brand new language for the very first time, and you can that sounds the same as that sound, kind of thing. You get some relative sounds, but you do not understand this language.
That's
To learn a language is difficult. Elle, you get. Hello.
No, go with it. I love it. Roll with it.
Could you hear that?
I like it. I like this.
Great.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Okay, that's what you hear. Oh boy.
I was gonna keep going. I'm sorry for my friends. I don't think we all have the best manners, but we're just passing through, and no problems here.
Your friend has fire. We've lost family to fire. We don't want to hurt you, but we do not want to get hurt.
I'm sorry to hear about your family. Where did the fire come from?
From over the wood. And you can kind of see some of the branches start to shift and almost point you in a northwesterly direction. So kind of in the loose direction of the Scorched Grove on the north end of Humblewood. We have fled.
Ella's gonna relay that information to the group, but I don't think she knows about their original mission.
That's true.
I don't know if she would.
No, I don't think so. Because you came in at the Elle came in at the start of the bandits. So yeah, that's a good point.
She missed the interpretive dance.
She missed the interpretive dance. We chose.
Dead?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Tree.
We had to flee, moving for many, many seasons, to a place with no fire. That's it. That's what you get.
Elle is gonna relay that info to the group and just kind of look at Cam. So let's not make any more torches, okay? It's scaring the trees.
Okay. Pick up my torch. Put it away.
Apoc puts away the flaming arrow.
Alright. You kind of see all the trees sort of start to, as you put everything away, they start to kind of straighten up once more and just rustle their leaves a little bit. Sorry, go ahead, Mrs. Q.
No, I need to look something first.
Joot me. Please. Joot break.
Choop right?
So Elle, if you're saying they don't want to get hurt, is there anything that they do want? And that's all I got. Oh.
I can ask them. Does anyone else have any questions for the trees?
Can you ask them if they like it when we carve things into their trunks?
Bodies?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll ask. So
Okay.
yeah, Ella's gonna turn back to the tree and ask. I'm trying to think what order she's gonna ask this question. Okay, Mr. Tree, I just have a couple of questions. She's gonna ask first if has anyone come through here who kind of looks like me, like a short pigeon. She's white. Whether, anytime lately or even years ago, have any, druid birds come through? She's also gonna ask what the trees would want, and also if carving their flesh hurts them.
Great. Okay, in that order. Awesome. So, okay. So there's a pause as you hear kind of a Not many folk come this way anymore. Many seasons ago there was more folk like you all, but not for quite some time. We just want a new home. Not all trees are like us in the forest. Things hurt us, but other trees are strong. That's what you get.
Okay. Ella's gonna relay that to the group, except for the question about the druid birds, but the other two.
Alright, Mrs. Q, did you figure out what you wanted to do?
What season is this?
I would say you're into like a midsummer kind of thing. That's when the Festival of Titan and Ardea would take place, kind of at your best and your brightest sort of daylight hours.
So do the Aspens have seed pods on them? Or
I would
like
say
the
for
flowers?
for this particular creature type, no.
Okay.
What were you trying to do, though? I'm curious.
Plant more trees.
Steal their babies.
Still a babies indeed.
Well, I mean, I could ask them if they wanted me to like plant some more trees around, like make the area bigger. But I need seeds.
You don't see any. Not for this particular group.
Okay. I don't have any other cool powers.
Artificial arboration.
I mean, they moved themselves.
Yeah, but it's natural. What you're trying to do is monstrous. It's unnatural.
Fine.
Power seeds.
Alrighty, what we doing, folks? You can see, like, Brenna is giving you all a very weird stare as one of you is talking to a tree, one of you is talking about natural versus artificial plant growth. Like, there's just a lot going on in this particular conversation.
Sorry, did Elle relate to the group when the trees talked about the fire? Would you ever relate that?
Yes.
Okay.
She would have. She wouldn't have thought too much about it, but she does relay that information.
Do you want to ask more about the fire?
Hey, what's his name?
Mr. Tree, what's your name?
You're gonna have to name every flower we come across.
My name. There's no word in language to describe my name. You may call me what you wish.
Okay.
What's his name?
His name is What You Wish, and
Right.
she says it all in one word altogether.
I should have known that was coming. I love it.
What you wish.
What you wish?
So Basil's gonna ask, what about
What
this
you
one?
wish?
And points to the one where he poked the eye.
I'm gonna kill you first.
But Sir Basil's just gonna say, sorry, Mr. Tree, as you wish. Sorry about the eye. And then ask Elle to ask the tree, what fire? Let's see what it says.
I'm assuming you ask Elle.
Yep, I'm just the interpreter right now.
The fires there. And again, you can see the trees pointing in the northwesterly direction. Burning for many seasons. The ground cannot support life anymore. It's all embers. Bodies of my families lost to time and continuing to burn.
Do you know what started the fire?
I was a sapling at the time. Dark magic plagues the land. It corrupted many roots, killed many things. We still flee because it is growing.
Yeah. So Basil kind of just looks at, will look at the group and kind of asks the group, like, could this be this is the Scorched Grove, right? That's what?
You can surmise that this is the Scorched Grove that this tree is talking about. It's not going to know the name you know it as, but you get the general gist of it.
So Basil kind of just like relates to the group what he's thinking, like, this sounds like the Scorched Grove. This could be something that we should keep in mind once we finish our mission.
Agreed.
And then, not knowing how to thank the tree, he's just gonna hug the tree, and then step backwards.
Excellent. All right. I'm gonna say your spell is gonna start to come to an end soon, so I can stop doing the voice, please.
Yeah. It's only 10 minutes.
So yeah, you're definitely hitting the end of that spell. As you can see, all the trees kind of just like they sort of shake their branches a little just to kind of get themselves into a comfortable position. And you hear Brenna kind of like ting as she sort of bangs on her sword. Can we move along? You absolute weirdos. What just happened?
We just gained some very useful insight into the Scorched Grove. These trees travel from there in an effort to escape.
Right.
Mrs. Q doesn't care if she believes that.
Yeah, that's
Fine.
Look, we are losing daylight here. We gotta get to Brackenmill, please. I am so tired of being out here. Can we go? Unless you'd rather stay, then I'll go alone.
There's no need to get your antlers in a twist. We'll come.
We are this close to having a peace. I don't want to ruin it.
Did your antlers fall off every year and then grow back?
Didn't know the of the antlers.
You see, kid, male and female servants have different parts, and I don't know if you made it to that point in your education, but I don't actually grow antlers.
Miss Q said you had antlers.
I couldn't remember. Just a phrase. Like get your knickers in a twist, but the knickers.
I love it. Brenna's gonna kind of turn to Ajax, who sort of has like, you can almost hear like as he sort of giggles at this exchange, and then just sort of straightens up once more. And they kind of look at you and like, okay, we're heading out, and start walking once more, heading back into that southwardly direction. As you continue walking, again, stop me if there's something you want to do, but as you continue walking, getting into the early evening with the sun still out, it's the perfect day, you are able to make it to starting to see the city of Brackenmill in the distance. And it's becoming more and more apparent because you can see, it's really cool, you can see it almost as a massive tree fort that is connected with like rope ladders from one to the other to the other. So there are, this is a perch, a smaller perch in the true sense of the word, seeing kind of like, I think there was an episode of like Avatar: The Last Airbender about like tree forts and stuff.
Thinking that.
If you think that with like the zip lines and everything, like that's kind of what you can see from a distance here. It's pretty cool. But as you start to approach Brackenmill from the north where you're walking, kind of like what you saw with the mounds, you do see evidence of like half-burned barns kind of thing. Very, very old, weathered, collapsed in either from the fire that had taken it or just the years that had passed in between. And you do notice as Brenna is walking that she sort of puts one hand on the hilt of her sword as she's moving along. She kind of turns to all of you. Welcome to Brackenmill. This is kind of the area where I'm supposed to be meeting with the council, so either they're not here yet or they're in the city, but this is going to be where we part ways, just as a heads up. We told the council it was only going to be us, and that's it. Me and one of my chosen, and them and one of their chosen. So.
I thought it was us too.
This is not. I'm trying to remember what we read.
Can you still relay a message via that scroll, or is it a one
It's
shot?
gone.
That's a good question.
I think we asked that question before.
The scroll itself is gone, but you do have the sending spell if you prepared it today. But as your original message, Brenna had specifically said for one member of the council with one guard, and she would follow the same rules. No offense, guys, but you are not diplomats. You are messengers. Thank you for bringing us this far. Let us handle it from here.
You said one diplomat and one bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Ajax is looking pretty rough, if I do say so myself. He doesn't even have his weapons. Let our noble knight take you in. He's much more capable at this moment, and we can look after Ajax, make sure he's, okay after his troubles.
I might have entertained the idea until you said you were going to look after Ajax.
Well, it's a royal we. Really, it would be Mrs. Q looking after Ajax and myself.
No.
How about it another way? Yes.
Well, I understand your trepidation, says Mrs. Q. I think Cam has a point. Perhaps it would be worthwhile us sticking around in the area just in case. We can organize some accommodation for you, and we can keep Ajax company and make sure that nothing happens to him while you are in your meeting, and we will not attend unless otherwise requested.
So, here's the thing, and I mean no disrespect to the majority of you. I need someone I can trust in those negotiations, and as much as we have fought alongside one another, I have known Ajax for far longer.
Have you?
And I still trust him more.
You didn't know what that was.
That was not him.
You think he's him now?
She kind of narrows her eyes at you, looks over at Ajax, and kind of looks back at you. Just call it intuition. Call it a seer's daughter's intuition.
I believe her.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
I think it's a 16.
16.
Let me double check that. Don't have the page up. 15.
15. You've known Brenna for almost a week now. That's kind of how long from the first encounter in the bandits' hidey hole to now. You do not get any sense that she is lying to you because the force of her personality in this particular moment, she is sure at what she says.
Mrs. Q pipes up and says, Ajax? Are you okay to accompany her?
You can see Ajax is kind of he's sort of the motion of wringing your hands, except he's kind of grabbing on to the stump of his arm. And he sort of like takes one look over at Ceridian, sort of cocks his head to one side, and then sort of looks you straight in the eye. If the general asks me to, yeah, I will accompany her and I will do my duty. I need to earn this trust now, and I can do this. I am me. I know I'm me now.
That's a good answer.
So Basil will probably just walk up, and I flip out his hand axe that he took from Ajax, and just kind of hold it out to him, and just say like, soldier to soldier, honor your word. And just hold it out to him to take back.
You can see he kind of starts to reach out, stutters just a little bit before grabbing with a very solid grip. You don't feel any shaking as he grabs onto the hilt and kind of gives you a very stern nod.
Like,
And then-
I imagine like there's like this like connection, but there's like.
He looks you
nod.
straight in the eye. Yeah. For the
yeah.
first time in a couple days, he's meeting your eyes.
Okay.
Is he
And
like
he
kneeling
just-
down?
No, like he's looking down.
Yeah. And let go. Yeah.
But you gather that there is a mutual understanding.
Cool.
Like I said, thank you for escorting us all this way. If you want to get accommodations, great. Who knows how long these talks will last, but I'm sticking to my end of the bargain, and I hope they stick to theirs, because there's a lot of crap going on, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do if it falls through.
Even more reason for us to stick around Brackenmill for a little while.
You're welcome to stick around Brackenmill. Watch out, they're crazy, but you're welcome to stick around Brackenmill. Actually, I suggest it, but it'd be nice to know that if we do need backup, there aren't just crazy people here. How about that? If you do see the council in town, send them out this way. We'll wait.
Right now?
I mean,
You're just gonna stand here waiting?
it's early evening. I don't mind camping. She kind of like looks. Sorry, go ahead, Cam.
No, go ahead.
She kind of looks around, and her eyes sort of like hesitate for just a second on the burned husk of a barn. It's okay here.
No, I promised I'd keep my end up of the bargain. You guys, we should maybe check out town, find a warm place to stay, and we're not too far. And Ajax, if you're gonna be playing bodyguard, you probably need something to do that with. And I walk over and I hand him back his hand axe.
The other one. Great.
But if I can, I'd like to subtly slip something into his pocket.
Okay.
Basically, as I'm like, with the distraction of, just remember everything that's happened in the last little while, the sacrifices we've all made. Just stick to your word. I'll stick to mine.
You say that to Ajax?
Yeah.
Okay. So sleight of hand first, but as he reaches out to grab onto the hand axe again, you can see his brow sort of furrow at your words.
So it's 3 plus 15, so 18.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's insane. Roll against it. Yeah, not even close. Ajax perception is not great. Yeah, you're able to slip whatever you want into his pocket.
I am slipping a feather from Dace into his pocket.
That is unexpectedly sweet. Yeah, alright, you slip that into his pocket.
before we go, Mrs. Q takes a little brown package out of her. She has so many pockets.
So many.
So she pulls, and it's this morning's flapjacks, the leftovers that she wrapped up.
Pocket pancakes.
Yep. And she gives them to Ajax and says, I'm not sure how long you'll be waiting, but in case your stomach gets rumbly, here's a snack.
Wow, thank you, ma'am. You can see like a smile sort of play on across his face as he's just kind of like, I'll save these for later.
Mrs. Q gives him a little like.
At this point, you actually hear like Brenna laugh a little bit at this, like a little kind of.
Mrs. Q is too old to care about people's opinions. She's
Yeah.
just gonna be her unreserved self.
Apoc just like nudges Elle like, do we have to give him something too? You got anything?
She's gonna look in her pockets.
Oh my god. You know, it's
Just
It's
imagine him with
fine,
one arm just
you
holding
guys.
2 axes.
yeah, literally like it's fine. You know, the time you freed me from whatever that thing was that was inside me, so like we're good. You don't have to. I'm good.
You know, you gotta look the part. And Apoc just puts a
Well-
feathered hat on his head. Good friend gave this to me, but I think you could use some updo.
Wasn't it like a cowboy hat? Was this the cowboy hat with the feather?
And this fedora with
This is the fedora? Okay.
Feather.
Alright. I don't know if this
Is
is
that-
quite my style, but that's fine. Thank you, I think.
Well, after Apoc whispers that to Elle, she's gonna like kind of look at her bag, and she doesn't have much, but she opens her book and like rips a page out from the back and pulls out her pack of crayons, and like on Apoc's back, she's like drawing something really quickly.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
While Ajax is like, you know, settling into his hat, Elle's just gonna go up and hand him a picture, and it's gonna be like a very crudely drawn picture of us, of our group.
Oh! Wow. You
Oh my god.
you guys are fun. Thank you, Elle. This is very sweet and unnecessary, but I will hang on to it. He'll
you
like
like
kneel
it?
down, and I love it. If I had a refrigerator, it would go right on the front with a magnet. But refrigerators are not invented in this world, so I will keep it in my pocket.
Elle's gonna do an insight check to see if he's lying to her.
Great. Go ahead and do an insight check.
2.
You see him put it in his pocket.
Perfect.
Alright, you all look very road worn. Go into Brackenmill. Maybe we'll see you there tonight if the council doesn't show up yet, but better we catch him when we can instead of not. And be careful, please.
Holler if you need anything.
We will.
Can you make a noise, like a signal? You got anything loud?
I mean, you'll hear us if there's something wrong, I'm sure.
Alright.
Brackenmill from where you are is like, you're like down the street kind of deal. Like it's like a 10-15 minute walk. Even faster for some of you fast folk, but it's not far. Like you will still be able to see them sitting in the field.
Okay.
Alright.
Are we walking away?
As you walk away, if you want to do anything else, did you want to do anything else?
Nope, I want to talk to everybody without the others there.
Okay. You do start to walk away, but just wanting to be wary of anybody who needs to stand up and take a stretch break. Like, let's just take 2 quick minutes and then jump right back into it, so that we can get in a little bit more before the new year, essentially. All right. As we all admire
I'm
your
reading.
website.
I'm linking socials.
Great. Okay. You can find all the links in the description, the video description.
I read it.
No, I saw it. I saw
Oh,
it.
okay, you saw it.
Yes, of course I saw it.
Alright.
I'll keep this tab open. We will jump back in as you, after many days of travel and tense conversations and a very shaky, rocky, on-edge relationship with Ajax and Brenna Ceridian, you part ways, leaving them standing just north of Brackenmill, waiting for the council member who hopefully will be arriving that night. As you walk away,
Mrs. Q, once we're out of earshot of Ajax and Brenna, ask her humble buddies.
okay, I have quite a few at the break.
I have the ability to contact. What's her name again?
It was Speaker Bitta.
Bitter. I have the ability to contact Speaker Bitter. Do you think I should tell them where Brenna and Ajax are, or do you think I shouldn't contact them, or do you think I should contact them and tell them that we will take them there so that we can check to make sure they've kept to their end of the bargain? We still have a little hand to play here, so
I like the third option myself.
Mm.
I don't want to lead Ceridian and Ajax into an ambush if we just tell them where to go.
Can you do the invisible thing?
Yeah,
How many people?
just me.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Elle, what do you think? Mrs. Q wants to hear her
It won't
opinion.
ever be just me. It's not that good.
I don't think we should let them be there by themselves. Because if something bad does happen, I don't think those two will win. From what it sounds like, the council and Elderheart just has more resources and things. And yeah, they could be ambushed. I think we should go and try to find them in town. If we can't find them in town, we can tell them to meet us somewhere in town, and then we can take them to Ajax and Brenna.
Mm.
Would we like to search for them first, or do we want to contact them immediately? Either is fine.
One and then the other.
How big is Brackenmill?
Yeah, so as you kind of walk up to Brackenmill, it's not a terribly big town. It is definitely more of a bustling town, as you can see a lot of bodies sort of moving around as you start to approach. It is a perch, so it's built up into this grove of trees that it's around, very similar to your apple orchard that you grew up on. You start to pass by orchards, you start to pass by farms, you can see like peaches on the trees and fruits. The town of Brackenmill itself, no different than Marshview where you've been before. It is a city. It's not like an outpost like Winnowing Reach, for example. There's more than just 7 buildings, but it's nowhere near the size of the city of Elderheart. It is a town. So it's not like you could search every building in a couple hours kind of deal. I'll make that specific.
Yeah,
It's bigger than that.
But there would be a central place, or at least one major public house that we could check first.
Yeah, so it's kind of built, like it's a treehouse that's kind of built almost in a semicircle. So you're sort of walking through orchards up to the front of this semicircle where it seems like any gatherings would take place. There's kind of like I'm going to kind of describe it like if you had a luau on a beach. That's kind of like this area. It's not a beach that you're in. You're still on soil. But you're kind of in there's this gathering area. You see a lot of benches, a lot of chairs, like a campfire sing-along kind of thing. And then the perch itself is built up with all of the buildings and homes sort of stretching out in the treehouse. They all look to be almost like in quadrants that are more or less connected with rope bridges across. And it is bustling. You can see a lot of it. Oh, excuse me, my throat cracked. voice cracked. You can see a lot of activity on the walkways and like in some of the homes itself. You can see like signs for some of the shops around. And as you start to approach that kind of semicircle, you do see a little gathering of people. It looks to be an older hedge kind of standing on a dais that's sort of very emphatically speaking to the crowd below. The gathering below, as you can see them kind of almost like speaking and moving in sort of a rhythm, and you get to you can come to the conclusion it's almost like they're telling a story as they are projecting themselves onto the crowd below and just making their presence known, and you can hear kind of like, oh no, whoa, kind of expressions from the crowd as they are absorbed in this story.
Chaos and bloodshed is not a solution.
Pretty much. But that's kind of the scene as you come into Brackenmill. What'd you like to do? I forgot what the original question was, so.
Oh,
Like how big is Brackenmill?
no, that wasn't my question.
That was my question.
Oh.
What was your question?
Small town.
Yes.
Yeah.
My question was, like, can we find like the main area where people congregate / like the tavern, like the place where you would stay if you were in the town?
Yeah, so it looks like this area here is a main area on the ground. In the perches, the way it's kind of set up, like you see people kind of walking in and then the same people walking out of some of the shops. You don't see like the main tavern just yet, but it's a newer, like you have never been to Brackenmill before. It's a bit of a newer situation for you. But as you do start to walk in, all of a sudden you do hear like a round of applause and some cheers, and you can see the hedge on the dais kind of hold both hands up and just sort of like look out to the rest of this crowd. And as the hedge kind of looks back up and looks and sees all of you entering, you can see them sort of squint. They're a little bit on the older side as they squint towards you. You can definitely see some very long whiskers on this hedge before just looking over and waving.
I guess I have whiskers. I never thought about
This particular hedge has whiskers. You can look however you want. But the hedge kind of looks over and waves. Hello there! Newcomers! Hello?
What's that thing that's like,
Ah, there we go. Hello, you are real. Hello, welcome to Brackenmill.
Steve. You distracted me. It's a funny video. Mrs. Q, it's not that she doesn't like crowds. She's okay with crowds. But she is weird around other hedges.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's like dogs who can't be around other dogs. And is like, it is visibly like not like waving back and not sure if she wants to stop.
what?
Whether she wants to like engage this person. He seems a little full of himself standing on his soapbox.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not loving that. She would much rather just go find the tavern and ask the bar.
So we're not going to engage?
So
That's just me telling you what's happening in Mrs. Q's head. All you can see is that she is not waving back.
Mm-hmm.
That is all you see.
And as attention, Elle waving back, attention has kind of been garnered to your group. You see the congregation. It's not that big. You see the gathering turn around. There's like 25, 30 people here. There's not that many. But you see them like turn around and kind of look at you, and then they're just like, "Hi, welcome to Brackenmill. Welcome to Brackenmill. Oh, it's so good to have new people here. Welcome to Brackenmill." It looks like all ages.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can see like all different, mostly humble folk here. There are bird folk as well present. It seems like, the perches are not very high above the ground, so it's not uncomfortable for the humble folk to walk along these edges. But welcome to Brackenmill. It's been so long since we've had travelers. Thank you for coming. Like all of these people kind of turning to face your group as you are very ragged, travel-worn, dusty, bloody, walking into town.
Do we see any perch guard?
Go ahead and make a perception check. Everyone can make a perception check.
21.
Anyone? Okay.
Nat 20.
Nice.
Okay, that's
Oh,
funny.
weak.
12.
12.
11.
Perception, Elle?
15 plus 2, 17.
Okay.
I'm gonna run and get something to drink quickly, but I can still hear you.
Great, okay, yeah, no problem. Okay, so nat 20 and a 21 for sure. You're kind of looking around. You do see, some rougher looking folk. There isn't so much perch guard and, the regal armor that you recognize them from Alderheart or Meadowfen or anything like that. You do see some rougher looking folk. They're kind of in, a leather armor, but the expressions on their face are not that of a soldier. You get the gist that they're mercs. They might not, they might reside here and are taking up the arms of a soldier, particularly with a 20, kind of like the bandits. The armor does fit them, but they don't have the rippling muscles of being trained.
Let's wear at the wall.
Sure, except it's much nicer than the wall. What you do see, and what you all rolled above a 10, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What you do see and what you do notice, all different races of Humblewood here, all different ages. Not many of them are wearing armor. You do see some, you do see people who do have farming tools on their belt, for example, things that you would have grown up with at the apple orchard epoch. And you can see everybody in this town seems to have the very same necklace. It is a small piece of stone, all different shapes, all different sizes, all different colors, that is kind of wound with a cord just around everyone's neck. Everyone in this gathering, the hedge on the little pedestal, you can even catch it on some of the people who are looking down and waving at you from the rope bridges above.
Now, because I think it was mentioned in the previous session, does it look a lot like Mrs. Q?
Very much so.
Mrs. Q is visibly uncomfortable.
You're in a cult.
Are you asking Mrs. Q this?
Yeah.
She flicks you on the ear. Says, of course not! Silly question.
It's gotta be a cult.
As you're having this conversation, the older hedge kind of waddles up. He's a little stout, but he just still waddles up to you and just kind of looks up at your party. Welcome to Brackenmill. Welcome. My name is Quill. I am the leader of this town here.
It's a common hedge name. No, it's itself.
It's been quite some time since we've had new folk that aren't traders, especially ones that aren't coming from the road. What brings you by?
Oh, just wandering through, my friend.
It was
Basil's truck's open.
Man, I wish that was on video. You're just wandering from the north. Sure, that's where you lost. I mean, most people just take the road.
Just wandering
The
around.
north is dangerous.
Not all those who wander are lost.
You must be starving. Maybe need some new clothes. Come. We can get you all set up. We've got some of the finest peaches in all of Alderheart, in all of Humblewood. We make some wonderful peach pies. We'll get you all fixed up. The checks notes. The Sunny Silkworm has one of the best restaurants on the east side of Alderheart.
You're
Please.
just questioning everything.
Come. Let us introduce you to
A lot
Brackenmill.
of stimulation right now. A lot of coffee that's been had.
We don't bite, I promise. We are a good community under the eye of Hedwin. Come, let us feed you. Let us
Oh, lead on, my friend.
right this way. And he'll just start to sort of waddle, not very quickly, but he'll just start to kind of waddle. And you can see at this point, like, the crowd, although it's strange to get people from the north, there is no road. If you're coming from the north, it might not be a good thing. But you can see the crowd. Some of them are kind of looking a little confused at you. Some of them are, I say crowd. You can see the small gathering looking a little confused, kind of like just regarding you all, but starting to disperse and go about their business. Do you follow?
Yes.
Everyone's looking at me. Yes, Mrs. Q follows, but she tucks her necklace into her apron because she's weirded out by these people.
Okay.
Interesting.
Great. So as you follow Quill, this little hedge, he starts to walk to one of the trees, and you notice that there's like a spiral staircase that has been carved into it. That sort of goes up a little more slowly than like rope ladders that are also here. Pardon?
Mist-like.
Mist-like. Yeah. But there are also rope ladders for like faster transport up for those who are more agile. As Quill just kind of waddles up, and you come to the first platform. You're not very high off the ground. You're only like 15, 20 feet off the ground. Like, these are low-lying trees. They're not like the trees of Humblewood. I mean, it's about the size of this house.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just.
Yeah. So you come to this first platform, and Quill's going to kind of stop and just sort of look at you all and like, all right, so we don't have a whole lot here, but if you're looking for a bite, there is the Sunny Silkworm. They're also an inn. I know they have some space right now, although we've had a few, new folk over the past little bit who have sort of been displaced. They've come here. If you're looking for, any supplies or anything like that, we have a couple of shops. There's the Spice Rack. There's the Tried and True. If you need anything.
Is Frida still working at the Spice Rack?
No, it's under the. Oh God! It's under the ownership of Fleer Spice now.
Oh,
I don't know Frida.
I think they are cousins.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Oh well.
Do you know?
Who are you?
So Basil's just still hanging around.
But Fleer is one. I haven't met Frida, but Fleer is wonderful. They've got a lot of teas and spices and ointments and stuff like that.
Fine establishment, I say myself.
Are you from here?
I've been here it's not my first time in Brackenmill.
Oh, it's not. Okay, that's great. So a return visitor. What were you doing in the north?
Just say I'm a friend of Hedwin.
I am in Eric's favorite accent right now. Friend of Hedwin, indeed. Then, are you one of his followers? And you can see Quill kind of reach towards his own necklace.
No, not a follower of Hedwin myself. Got my own god to follow.
Everyone's welcome here.
That's why I come.
Right.
And I glare over at Mrs.
Mrs. Q's Quills twitch a little bit, but she doesn't say anything.
You see just pure panic under this like stony guy.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Q pipes up and says to Quill. We've had a long journey. If you could escort us to the inn, we would love to have a rest and freshen up before we see the rest of your town.
Certainly, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, what was your name? What were all of your names? Are you a group or just a group of travellers?
We're a group of friends.
Great.
Friends.
That's a little creepy. With no names? It's not really how we do things here in Brackenmill. We're a community.
You can call me Copa.
Copa. Okay, great. Copa.
Short for Copa Cabana.
Obviously.
Don't say I know that surname, but that's okay.
Woodsley.
Woodsley. Okay, Copa. Woodsley.
Elijah Woodsley.
I can write this down, you chuckleheads. Copa Woodsley.
Elijah Woodsley.
Okay. Okay, Copa. Oh, good God, Cabana is Apoc.
It's just Apoc back.
Yeah, I know. Elijah Woodsley. Okay. Okay, so we have Copa, we have Elijah.
Mary.
Mary, okay. Mary.
Promise I was going to go with that before the theme turned off.
It's nice to meet you.
So I was gonna like look all three at them and then just say, you can call me Finn.
Finn, okay.
With a PH?
You can't ask that.
You don't know how to spell your friends, that's fine.
He
What about you,
spell
little
very
one?
well.
What about you, little one?
Elle just kind of freezes because she doesn't really know what's going on. And she doesn't say anything. She just stares blankly at this.
She's a little bashful, one would say.
Oh, sorry, I meant no offense, little one. I didn't mean any offense at all. I lost it.
We
That's on me.
we call her Rookie.
Rookie, okay. All these dumb names.
My favorite part of this is we've all got fake names and yours is just your own name. Sure.
Yeah. That's on par. All right. So Copa, Elijah, Mary, Finn, and Rookie. Just right this way. I'll get you to the Sunny Silkworm.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. I love it. There is a proprietor of the Sunny Silkworm that I don't want to get wrong.
Is that the same? Is this also the name of the inn? Like it's the restaurant under the inn?
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's like a tavern and a restaurant as well. It's kind of got here. Let me show you. And Quill is going to waddle in the southern quote unquote direction, so kind of around this main quadrant. And you see kind of at the back, sort of tucked in its own little nook, there is one main building with very small little like huts that have been carved into the branches above. And there is a sign above that says in bird folk, that says in like all of the languages of Humblewood, the Sunny Silkworm. And I guess there is no name for the proprietor here, so this is. Are you okay?
Yes.
This is the Sunny Silkworm. It's run by Farron. He's wonderful. He's definitely some different folk, but we welcome all kinds here in Brackenmill. He'll be able to set you up with some rooms. Actually, it's been a while. I'm gonna go say hi to him as well. Come with me. And Quill's going to kind of waddle in and open the door to the Sunny Silkworm, and it's this very warm, like round, big open space. Kind of looks almost bigger on the inside than the outside, but it's not one of those things. And you see kind of behind the bar, you do see a very different folk from anyone you've seen in Humblewood before. You see this very kind of squishy looking, green skinned, very bulbous eyes on the top of their head, and a couple little pincers, a silkworm.
Oh, it's an actual.
Your sized, with a lot of very cute little appendages. He's got one little bow tie on around his like very, very plump little neck. You can see some blue spots on his back. I'm gonna send you a picture of him because he's pretty darn cute.
Okay.
But he is he's behind the bar.
I'm imagining like Heimlich from The Bug's Life. You know,
I
the
don't.
big... I would look him up too. He's German. It's very funny.
The fat catabone?
Yeah.
He
He looks pretty squishy behind the bar as like
Squishy.
he's got 3 glasses and 3 pairs of legs that he's cleaning and putting to the side all at once. There's quite a few people in here. It's not super packed because it's a little bit after dinner at this point, but it's warm, it's friendly, it's very like cozy in this area, and you can see Quill waddle all the way up to the bar and kind of wave over and start having a bit of a discussion, sort of look and turn over to you and gesture for you to come. What do you do?
What do you do?
Whoever's standing closest to Elle, she's gonna pull on somebody's sleeve and just ask, "So, are we pretending we're other people?"
I will just assume that it was Mrs. Q that she's pulling on. Mrs. Q leans down and says, "Yes, just for now, until we figure out what this place is really like."
So I can pretend to be whoever I want?
I mean, yes, I've given them an alias for you, but Rookie can be however you like. That's the fun part of this job.
Elle's gonna nod, and then she's gonna just walk straight up to the bar and like put her hands on and say, "Coffee, please!"
This is good.
Apoc's gonna come up behind her and just be like, no. We got 5 beers.
Okay, so this little kid comes up, slams both hands, and asks for coffee. This other, slightly older kid, teenager, comes up and asks for 5 beers. What?
He's old enough to drink.
That's why I said teenager. You see Quill kind of look a little shocked at the change in Rookie, who before did not even know her own name and was very shy, he was told. And you see the silkworm behind the bar kind of like, he's a bug, so I don't think bugs have eyelids, so he kind of just like looks very wide-eyed at Elle and then looks at Apoc, and you hear this very like, "Hoo, hoo, 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 5 beers sounds great." And
Wow, that went better than I thought.
it's this very like booming voice from this very squishy silkworm. And sure enough, there's 5 beers and one tiny little, just for your hands, Elle, one tiny little like espresso cup of coffee.
Oh, perfect.
That stuff's pretty rare there. I hope you enjoy.
Here you go, guys.
I'm gonna knock. Elle's
was
gonna knock
free.
it back like in one shot, and then follow Apoc. And she's gonna assume this beer is for her because you said 5.
Yeah, do you want one?
Mrs. Q immediately
No.
removes it from her vicinity. Yes!
Why not?
Because she's 12.
Elle doesn't drink beer, but Rookie does, Mrs. Q.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's always good to have a little fun when you're young. When you're old like me, it gets a little bit tough. As you see the silkworm, his like 4 sets of hands that you can see above the bar kind of stretch a little bit and then like pat on his tummy.
Mrs. Q, holding the beer away from Elle, asks her to 1 minute and asks, do we have a name for him?
Dear God, I forgot. I said one and I forgot.
Fair.
Farron.
Okay,
Okay.
let me write that
Ask
down.
Farron, do you have any water or lemonade?
We have peach juice.
Great. Can I take half a cup of peach juice, please? A cup with half full of peach juice.
Okay, I will get a cup with half full of peach juice. There's like the big bug guys. Yeah, easy enough. Quill tells me you've been traveling a while, so that's on the house for you guys. Just to refresh your looks. You're looking a bit peaky, bit dry, bit pale.
Mrs. Q says, thank you very much, that is incredibly generous, and takes the peach juice and takes the beer and pours some of the beer into the peach juice and hands that and says, this is a shandy, and at your age you may drink all of this if you wish. She's very controlling.
That's very
In this situation, she is like,
And when you drink half of it, you can have more beer.
no.
Didn't think this was gonna be a
Elle's
discussion.
gonna be a little crestfallen, but she'll start to just kind of sip at the drink, and just kind of watch everybody to see if anyone, for any point, stops paying attention to their beer.
Great. I will.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bottoms up. Drink.
I would like to cast a spell.
Okay. I'm assuming you're all like, there's a seat for you available if you want at a table.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we sat down.
Yeah, you said
I'm gonna
okay.
sit down
Okay,
and
spell.
I'm gonna place the silver mirror underneath the beer.
Okay.
And as Elle is drinking it, I'm going to cast ceremony, and I'm going to cast it as a coming of age ceremony.
Nice.
What happens?
Cheers. Oh well, it's whatever you want it to be. Coming of age. You're now an adult kid. Drink up. You also add a D4 to all of your rolls for the next day.
Wow.
Nice.
That's awesome. I love that. You get some
Ceremony's a
inspiration
great
from
spell.
that. That's great.
And the mirror burns up after she's done drinking.
You've been hanging on to that mirror for a while.
I need it to be non-magical for me. So swapping the mirror helps.
Oh my god, you guys.
Fantastic.
Right. As you're all sitting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Elle.
I don't know, whoever's sitting closest to Elle can just barely hear this, and she's drinking, and she just says to herself, "This must be what a birthday party feels like."
Aww.
Oh, stop!
And she drinks her peach juice beer.
He came goes, what's a birthday party? I was born in the darkness.
All right. Yeah, so you are all sipping your beers. There is like a couple minutes while you're just trying to recover, as Quill is sort of chatting up Farron, and then he kind of walks back over to you and just sort of, he's not going to sit down. He's just going to kind of like playing with the pendant around his neck, and it's just, welcome to Brackenmill again. We're so happy to have visitors. We don't have many aside from the trade routes, but ask anyone. They're here to help you find your way around, and if you need a hand, just send someone for me. I'm more than happy to show you around our wonderful town and to meet our wonderful people and our community here. And I hope you enjoy.
Before you go,
Yes, Mary.
have you had any other visitors recently, other than the trade route people?
There's been our normal trade. We got a pretty big order from Alderheart asking for some other supplies that we normally give them, like more fruits and stuff. We had a great harvest this year, so we were able to supply them with a lot, and I think they were happy about that. There were a couple of folk that came in from the road. They looked quite dusty. They had their hoods up, even in the heat, or even in the sun. I don't really know where they went. They were kind of quiet. Didn't really say much. But I mean, I tried to show them here to the Sunny Silkworm. Don't know if they went. They didn't exactly ask for an escort. They more just wanted there to know their way around. I'm sorry I can't be of more help.
No, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Are they dangerous?
We don't know them. We've no idea.
Okay.
We were just curious if anyone else had come.
Make a deception check.
team.
I mean, that would be all that I know of at this point. If people come in the night, maybe others have seen them. I have to sleep sometime, but sorry.
No, we're very thankful for your generous hospitality. We have barely arrived and we feel like we've already made a friend.
Well, there's lots of friends to be made here. I'm going to get back to just making sure our town's running all right and make sure we have our resources in the right spots. But take your time, explore. I've already talked to Farron. He got you set up with a couple of rooms. Just let him know how many you want if you're staying. Hopefully you are. Let me know how I can help.
This is Quill.
This is Quill. What, the accent didn't give it away?
I'm just double checking.
I've been working on this for 2 weeks.
Hey, Quill. Is Boyd or Monahan or any of the other Brackenmill boys in town?
Boyd and Monahan, I mean, those are ringing a bell, I have to say. But I'm not always up to date on the youngins in the town. They sort of come and go as they please. They always find their way back home. So, if they're not here now, I'm sure they'll come back.
No worries at all.
Yeah, you get the sense he has no idea what you're talking about.
Taking the youngins to Alderhard.
Yeah.
Quill, do you have a roost here? Like a high point? Like somewhere where you keep a guard? Just look out?
You see him kind of think again, and then he just sort of like, do you mind if I sit if this is going to be a bit of a discussion? Kind of like plops down in a chair nearby. I mean, we don't really have, everyone sort of just keeps an eye out for each other here. We don't really have like a roost or a guard. Sometimes, you know what, that's not true, because sometimes Alderheart sends messengers here, and then those messengers help to escort our goods back to Alderheart. So there's a presence, but it's not like our people who are permanently here. Some people have taken up the role of a defender of this place, but except for a rogue animal or something that is very, very sick that needs to be relocated to deeper in the mountains, there's really no need for that here.
Do you relocate sick animals to the mountains often?
Well, I mean, we're sort of by the sea, so sometimes there are some sea creatures that have a poison where if they get bit, the animals get a little bit loopy and need to sort of recover somewhere else where they're not going to bite anyone else and pass that poison along. So we have to keep an eye out for that, but that's probably the worst of it.
Could you repeat that last part?
Animals
The
that
part about the poison?
bite animals.
So sea creatures that are biting
Well,
land creatures that are causing them to go loopy?
I mean, there's like a type of eel that stays in the shallows around the Talongrip coast, and the animals that go and drink there, if they get bit, the eels are poisonous, and then the animals might start going a bit crazy if they get too bad and their condition gets too bad. Then, if they find their way here, they could hurt somebody, and we don't want that, so we sometimes have to relocate them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it sounded like a were-eel situation. But I don't
That
think
would be
it's that.
frightening.
Yeah.
Is that real?
I don't know. You made it sound like it was real.
Oh, I didn't mean that to be real. I wonder if that's real. That would be scary.
Oh, it is now.
Yeah. Make a note.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's it. That was my question.
we don't have anything to worry about. That you're not telling me with all these questions about other folk and
No.
guards needed and...
I was just curious. I like to wander around at night, so if you see me just like walking around,
Okay.
climbing up on the trees, it's just I like to do that. So if somebody else does that, then I can have a friend doing it.
You know, we do have a couple of sleepwalkers, but they're harmless. It's fine.
Okay.
It's been wonderful to meet you all. And he's going to kind of like old man groan as he gets up from the table and just starts to waddle away and gives a wave as he leaves the Sunny Silkworm. Andrea would like some jujubes, please. What did you guys want to do? Thank you.
So I assume there are other people in this.
There are other tables. They're all kind of chatting.
So good.
Anyone that stands out, or anyone that
You can make a perception check to just look specifically for that.
3.
That was your D6.
Oh, that's what you said. You're right. Right.
Good God, I hope you haven't been rolling that all night.
No.
Oh,
It's a one.
No! Aw, dice jail.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was.
You accidentally take like too big of a sip of your beer and you like got bubbles up your nose and it's like like burning on the way down. You unfortunately don't see too much other than just people around the table.
Cool.
I wish there was a spell that stopped people from eavesdropping. It would be very handy right now.
Is there someone like a table right by us? Like, or are we kind of like?
You're in a restaurant.
Okay.
You're in a restaurant pre-pandemic.
Got it.
I would like to turn to the table right beside us
Mm-hmm.
and spark up a conversation with whoever or whatever the group is there. Specifically, because Finn would like to know what's the deal with all the necklaces you guys wear.
Yeah. You definitely, one thing you would notice, I guess, maybe not you, but like the rest of you with your previous perception rolls, like there are quite a few hedge in this village. Not so much predominantly hedge where everybody else is out of place, but quite a few of them. So the table you turn to is like a group of 3 hedge.
Okay.
There's like, they all look to be in good friends and good spirits. It's a group of 3 male hedge. And as you turn to them and kind of spark up a conversation, they're on the younger side.
I imagine it being like me choking on a beer, like
Yeah. Water. Picks up one glass and kind of like accidentally spills some on you. Wait, sorry.
and just takes a sip.
You okay, bro?
Just went down the wrong pipe. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that happens around like the
I'm
second
so
or
sorry.
third beer.
My name's Finn Pipsqueak.
Oh, good God. Finn
What's your name?
Pipsqueak. Great. Excellent.
Love it.
My name's Andy.
Nice to meet you, Andy.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Finn. You new in town? I don't think I've seen you before.
Yeah, we're just passing through.
Oh,
Although it's a very interesting town. A lot of weird things I've seen. That Quill fella. Wow. He seems to be.
Oh, he's awesome. He's the leader of Brackenmill. He has been watching out for this town. God, he's old. Oh man.
How old are we talking?
Oh man. Bro, we're talking so old. Like, he has been around since my parents were young.
Keep going. I want to hear Andrea say bro more.
That seems pretty old. What's the deal with all these? I noticed all you were wearing this necklace. It seems like everyone else in town is wearing this necklace. What's up with that?
It's for gang. It's all puka shell.
Stupid shot.
Sick necklace, bro.
You know it. Yeah, and you can see like on Andy. I write Andy's name down now. Andy Hedge. Okay. On like Andy's got kind of like a shorter cord. It kind of looks like an arrowhead. The version of rock that he has wrapped around the cord. Oh, these are kind of a thing here. we're all followers of Hedwin. More or less, not everyone needs to be part of Hedwin's trove, but more or less we're followers of Hedwin here, and this is our symbol.
So weird.
Would, out of character, would we know Hedwin?
So yes, out of character, like you would all know, Hedwin is one of the Amaranthine.
Sure.
They are like the patron Amaranthine of community. They are, I mean, you must have heard Mrs. Q reference Hedwin multiple times.
Yeah, I probably actually haven't, but I would have in reality.
Sure.
Okay, sorry, you know what? You do you. If you would not have mentioned him, then you would not have mentioned
I
him.
would have. I just don't think. I just forget sometimes. But I would have mentioned it because it's the one of the Amaranthine that Mrs. Q follows and like prays to when she does all of her stuff, and all of her magic is kind of like themed around that. So you would have heard.
Community? I would have thought it would be planting, cooking.
It's more like
Plants
community.
bring people together. Cooking brings people together.
Yeah, community, kindness, also like the patron Amaranthine of the hedge. Like
Gotcha.
Hedwin is a hedge folk.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're all believers in Hedwin, and more specifically, we're believers in Hedwin's trove. So this is just our daily reminder that we need to follow what Hedwin says and act kindly towards everyone, and just enjoy the community we have. That's what it means.
That's pretty great. That sounds pretty something stellar.
Yeah. And also, between you and me, if you're a believer in this, there's rumors that there's a treasure trove of all old hedge relics buried in the mountains somewhere.
Is that so?
I mean, that's where the myth of this comes from. I personally don't believe it. It'd be cool if there was treasure, don't get me wrong. I was about to say mate. But I don't know, seems kind of, myth and legend, if anything.
If so many people know about it, there must have been someone who's gone looking for it.
Oh yeah, loads of people have gone looking for it. No one ever seems to find it. Or if they do, they don't come back, bro.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding, it's all fun.
Cool.
Great.
It just says, you know what? You're pretty great, and just cheers.
You're pretty great too, yeah!
And I assume just hanging out, unless anyone else wants to do anything.
Miss Q's staying very quiet. She's noping all of this in her brain. Nope.
You guys want to stay in here, or do you want to scout out what's happening?
Well, given that the
Should we
people
look around?
that we thought that we would find here potentially aren't here, I could just send them a message. And we could figure out where they are.
I think they're here. Somewhere.
Can you be stealthy enough to ask the question to Erin to see if anyone else has checked in recently without, drawing too much attention?
I think it'll draw attention.
I think you will draw attention.
I think you already did.
Elle,
I asked Quill.
have you heard of a drinking contest before?
Oh boy.
It's where you go and ask somebody in the bar to have a drinking contest to see who can drink their drink faster. And then everybody in the bar gets all rowdy and watches to see who wins.
This
Okay.
kind of sounds like something my brother would do.
Alright, well, now that you're an adult, Rook,
Oh
Okay,
boy.
so how do I do it? Do I pick the biggest person here?
sure.
Elle's gonna look around for the biggest person in the room.
I'm gonna put my hand on her shoulder and cast guidance.
You see this massive. What do I want him to be? You see this massive strig. So owl folk in this world.
Yep.
He is like, Dace was a big boy. This strig is a big boy. Like, he is very tall. He is very buff. He is seated with a servant and a Vulpin kind of at a table. Looks like they're kind of getting a little more like big deep-throated laughter coming from that table. They're having a great time, but it looks like their drinks are starting to spill a little more than what's actually going into their mouths. That would be the biggest person in this room. Oh boy.
Elle is gonna grab whatever two glasses are closest to her.
Okay, one of them is your peach drink.
Yeah, so I'll take my drink and whatever's closest, not really caring if it's full, and she's just gonna, with the most swagger she can possibly muster, just like
give me a performance
walk on over to the
check.
table.
You're gonna say she grabs like the back half of Apoc's drink as he exits the bar.
You leave the bar?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Okay, great.
And I add a D4. Is that
So you get
also?
your D4 for coming of age and D4 for guidance.
Oh my god. Alright, so yeah, roll the d4 twice.
Okay, so I rolled a 19, plus I have a +3 performance, and then I rolled 2 3s, so 19 plus 9, 28?
Yep. The most swag you've ever seen.
In a visual you can only imagine as this 12-year-old pigeon walks up to this massive strig that is 3 times her size. You describe it.
So Elle is kind of scrawny, but like she kind of like puts her wings up a little bit, and like she kind of struts, but like her head bobs like every time she walks. And like there's been a little bit of beer and she's never drank before, so she's not really going in a straight line. She's kind of weaving, and she's gonna go up to the table and just again like slam both cups on. She's gonna point at the strig and say, "You and me, drinking contest." And she's gonna like turn around and like look at Cam and give him like a thumbs up.
I don't even know what to do.
Performance.
You know what? With that 28 performance, what I'm gonna say is that when you did this, you made a very big scene, for good or for bad, and the bar just goes silent. Like, you can hear a pin drop, and you see the expression on this strig's face. They are very barn owl-esque, so like the heart-shaped face and everything like that. You can see like the lower beak just like drop as this tiny little pigeon is like 12-year-old glaring at him. And there is a moment, a beat, Apoc outside the bar. You just hear silence. Before you hear this uproarious laughter coming from inside the bar, starting with the strig. And the strig is going to kind of like grab you in a little headlock, not in an aggressive way, just in a rough way, and just, "You know what, kid? You're hilarious. Sure, why not?" And is going to cheers both of your drinks, one in each hand. He's gonna drink his. Are you gonna drink yours?
Yes, absolutely.
Con save. What are you doing?
I just want to like stay at a distance where nobody would be able to see me, like from the camp, and just see if anything's happening where we left those two.
Where you left Brenna and... Okay, perception check. Sorry, what was your...
Do I add a D4?
Yep.
To all your rolls,
All
I
your
guess. Crazy.
Oh, so I rolled a 19. Con save? 19 plus
Yeah.
3 plus 4. So 26.
And
What?
I gotta go to the guy. Don't lose to a kid. Jump and cast silvery barbs to give him disadvantage.
I was gonna roll for him, but I guess I will now. I mean, sure. What? And we're gonna use. Where are you? I just need anything with this trig. It's. Here we go. Great. As you do that and you clap him on the shoulder, there is a moment of like, but he manages to kind of shake himself out. Where's your drink? Drink up, man. Throws one into your hand. You can make a con save too. Elle, somehow, I don't know.
7.
Yeah, you're not doing so hot now. Sorry, friend. Elle, on the other hand, Cam looks a little green in the face from chugging his beer, but you're just it tastes kind of weird. You liked it better with the peach juice, but feeling good. It's fine. What's the big deal? Perception.
11.
11.
Use my inspiration. Yeah, go for it.
Fuck.
Do you have to take the second roll?
No.
Okay, so 11.
Just advantage, I think. Right? Yeah.
You're not. I mean, you're about 15 minutes away, so it's kind of like you're looking. It's about 1.5 kilometers away. You can see. It's getting a little bit twilight, so it's getting a little darker. But
You have dark vision.
You do have dark vision. Yeah, no, that's true. You do see 4 torches, 4 flicks of flame in the distance. With an 11, I don't think you'd see much more than that. But you see 4 torches.
For outlines or anything? Just shapes?
You would see 4. I'll give you shapes, general shapes, but that's all you kind of get.
Tall, similar height as the servant, or Ceridian? Yeah.
One looks taller than the other 3.
Okay.
But there are no defining details you can make out at all. No glint of armor, nothing. You see 4 torches, 4 blobs. One is a little bit taller.
Okay, I'm just gonna head back to the group.
Mm-hmm. Why was a distraction needed for that?
I thought you were talking to Farron.
Oh no!
Yes,
I was going out.
It is buck wild in here right now, though. Cam's looking a little worse for wear. Everyone's laughing and having a good time. It's a thing that is happening.
You're trying to
When Apoc comes back, he looks over and Elle has now gotten on the table and is starting to dance. And she's doing that I don't know if anyone's played the DDR but the Rasputin song.
Nice.
That really specific.
Oh,
That's what she's
God.
doing now on the table.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
that's great. Hey, Elle, where's my drink?
She's just gonna say, "Rookie wins."
Amazing.
Mrs. Q, while all this is happening, because she's given up on trying to maintain control of her group, goes up to the bar and gets up on a little stool, a little creakily, because it's been a long walk, by Farron, and looks over, scans across the place with, him with his head in his hands, Apoc doing goodness knows what, Elle, dancing on the
It's
table.
a riot in here.
And
You
says-
see two of Farron's hands. The top hand is rubbing a glass clean. The other 2 on the bottom are clapping along to the beat of Rasputin for Elle.
I love that.
You can't see what I'm doing back here. But,
It's such a good song.
okay, go ahead.
And says, is this the effect that newcomers have on the tavern, or is it like this every night?
Well, you definitely made it interesting. But It is a good life here in Brackenmill. There's lots to be thankful for and lots to be happy about, and I'm happy I set up my business here when I did. You do not notice a necklace on Farron.
If the place is so wonderful, and I have every reason to believe it is, how come you don't get more visitors?
We're just on we're as far east as the road goes. You only come here if you know you want to come here. To be honest, over the past couple of years, there hasn't been a whole lot of tourist travel, if I'm going to be totally honest. So a lot of the townsfolk come here for the drink, knowing that my rooms aren't always full. But they help keep me in business, which is great. And hopefully, when if the bandits are ever dealt with and stop attacking the road, people can start traveling again and might find a little R&R here in Brackenmill. It's very peaceful in the orchards during the day.
Well, everyone is looking for some peace.
Absolutely. Mary, right? I think that's what Quill said.
That's correct. Mary. Have you had any other visitors recently? We'd love to. We haven't been to the big city in a while, and we'd love to find some folks to get some news.
Oh, you're talking from Alderheart? Well, we had one shipment that just sort of left to Alderheart. That was a big one. Did a lot of the townsfolk good. I think that's why everyone's in such good mood. We did have a couple visitors. They wanted to stay on the down low. They came in real early this morning. One of them was a bit of a taller white, like peahen bird folk. She said her name was Sia. The other one was a stout strig. Looked like he had some shiny armor on, but they didn't really say much about where they were from, just that they were here for a visit too.
Are they staying here?
Oh, we're the only inn in town. They're staying here. But
Well,
Mary, you have to understand, I'm not gonna tell you what room they're in.
No, of course not. That would be wildly inappropriate.
Extremely.
But if you do happen to see them while we're down here, if you could point them out, we would love to have a chat with them. As I said, we haven't been to Alderheart in a while, and we've heard that there's been some difficulty, and we'd like to know a little bit more. We have friends and family in the area.
Oh, well, make a deception check.
Technically, nothing she said.
I mean, yeah, it's not really.
Then you can make persuasion if you're gonna give the...
Which one's better? They're both. Nat 20.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a bit of 22. But great. But yes.
I mean, if you don't see him at breakfast tomorrow, then I'll tell him that you're looking for news, but...
That would be great.
That's all I can do, Mary. You understand, I do have to run an establishment too.
I do. Your discretion is appreciated on all accounts.
I am just discretion, just busy. Look at this place.
I guess it's handy to have a few extra arms. I mean, hands around to help.
Absolutely.
A cup of tea, if you wouldn't mind. And she sort of waits at the bar while he does that and turns around to survey the destruction that her people are causing.
So it's rowdy, but it's not. With
It's
the
fun
exception
rowdy?
of maybe it's fun rowdy.
Okay, that's fun.
With the exception of maybe the footprints that Elle's gonna leave on the table. It looks like nobody's getting out of hand.
Okay, well, that's good.
Does anybody want to do anything else? Alright, hearing none, I need a perception check from you, Camembert. As you have unfortunately thrown up your drink, your head is spinning a little, but you still have enough bearings.
9.
9? I did not roll better. You know that kind of little hazy state where you're in a tipsy sort of mentality before the best state, before you get sloppy drunk.
Call it my day to day.
Yeah. All right, Eric. As you are kind of like just looking up, seeing Elle, you're vibing with the music. You see, like, kind of across the bar, the back of someone who is leaving, and you see a scarf that is kind of wrapped around them. You can't quite make out who they are with your perception. Unfortunately, the world is spinning a little. But the scarf, you would know the scarf anywhere as the like mint green scarf that you last saw Peppermint wearing. You left Alderheart.
And he's shit-faced.
Love it.
And it's 10 o'clock and we're going to end there.
Oh my gosh. Okay.